Nigerian twin girls goes to school in Korea. Once upon a time, in a small town in Nigeria, two beautiful twin sisters named Amaka and Chidinma lived with their parents. From the time they were young, everyone in the town admired them. Their mother, a teacher, and their father, a businessman, loved and raised them well, always teaching them to be respectful, confident, and kind-hearted. One sunny morning, the twins received surprising news from their parents. They were going to South Korea to complete their senior high school years. Their father had been working with a Korean company, and they offered the twins an opportunity to study in Korea. The girls were overjoyed but nervous at the same time. Korea was far from home, and they didn't know much about the language or culture. With bags packed, Amaka and Chidinma hugged their family and friends goodbye. As the plane took off, they held hands tightly, knowing this would be the biggest adventure of their lives. When the twins arrived in Korea, they were in awe of how different everything looked. The buildings were tall, the streets were busy, and the language sounded so fast. Their new school, Seoul International High School, was enormous, with hundreds of students from different countries. Everyone wore a neat school uniform, a navy blue blazer, white shirt, and plaid skirt. The first day, they felt a bit lost, wandering through the school hallways. Students stared at them, admiring their unique beauty, and some whispered to each other, fascinated by the sight of the twin African girls. In their first class, the teacher introduced them. "Class, please welcome Amaka and Chidinma from Nigeria." The whole class clapped, and the twins shyly waved. As they took their seats, two boys exchanged curious glances. One of them, Jae-sun, was a tall, handsome boy with messy black hair. He couldn't stop glancing at Amaka. On the other side of the room was So-won, a popular boy with sharp features and a playful smile. So-won noticed Chidinma and gave her a friendly nod. But the twins were too focused on trying to understand their new surroundings to notice the boys. After classes, Amaka and Chidinma walked through the schoolyard. They were fascinated by the cherry blossom trees, their pink petals floating in the air. Suddenly, a group of girls came over to introduce themselves. "Hi, we're your classmates," one of the girls, Hannah, said cheerfully. "If you need any help, just let us know." The twins felt relieved to make friends so soon. Hannah and her friends gave them a quick tour around the school and showed them the cafeteria, the library, and even the music room where students practiced their instruments. Over the next few days, the twins started adjusting to their new school. But not everything went smoothly. During a lunch break, as they were sitting with Hannah, some older students walked by and stared at them. One of the girls, a senior named Minji, made a comment. "Who do they think they are? Just because they are new doesn't mean they are special," Minji whispered loudly to her friends, making sure the twins could hear. Amaka's cheeks turned red, but she kept quiet. However, Chidinma couldn't hold her anger. She stood up and looked directly at Minji. "If you have something to say it to my face," she said, her voice calm but firm. Minji was shocked. She didn't expect Chidinma to respond. After that day, Minji and her group often tried to bother the twins, especially when they were around boys. But the twins stayed strong, not letting anyone make them feel small. As weeks passed, Amaka began noticing Jae-sun more and more. He was always kind, helping her whenever she didn't understand something in class. One day, during a group project, they ended up in the same team. Amaka was shy but tried her best to communicate with him. Do you want me to do the poster, or will you?" she asked, her voice a bit shaky. Jae-sun smiled warmly. "I'll do it, and you can help me with the ideas. You're very creative, Amaka." Amaka blushed, surprised that he noticed. As they worked together, they laughed and shared stories about their cultures. Jae-sun told her about Korean festivals, while Amaka shared stories of Nigerian dances and food. Slowly, she felt her heart beat faster whenever he was around. Meanwhile, Chidinma also caught the attention of a boy, So-won. Unlike Jae-sun, So-won was known to be playful and a bit of a joker. He often made everyone laugh in class and was very popular among the students. He started showing up wherever Chidinma went, cracking jokes and trying to get her attention. One afternoon, as Chidinma was studying in the library, So-won walked over and sat across from her. "Hey, you look like you're drowning in books. Need some saving," he joked. Chidinma rolled her eyes, but couldn't help laughing. "I'm fine, but thanks for the offer." After that, So-won kept finding excuses to talk to her. He even invited her to watch his basketball practice one day, and she found herself laughing at his silly tricks on the court. Although she acted like he was just a friend, deep down, Chidinma enjoyed the attention. One of the biggest events at their school was the annual school festival. Students from each class prepared games, food stalls, and performances. The twins were excited to experience this new tradition. Amaka's class decided to set up a Nigerian food stall, and everyone was eager to taste her cooking. Jae-sun even volunteered to help her, surprising everyone. Chidinma's class planned a dance performance, and So-won convinced her to join. "Come on, Chidinma. Show everyone your moves," he teased. She finally agreed, and they practiced together every afternoon. So-won was impressed by her natural rhythm, and she felt happy to share a bit of her culture with him. The festival day arrived, and the twins wore beautiful African outfits, standing out from the crowd. The Nigerian food stall became popular, with students lining up to try Amaka's jollof rice. Jae-sun worked by her side, serving and chatting with customers, his eyes often drifting to Amaka with a smile. During the dance performance, Chidinma and So-won moved together gracefully. The crowd cheered, and by the end, So-won whispered, "You're amazing." Chidinma blushed, feeling her heart skip a beat. After the festival, it was clear that both Jae-sun and So-won had feelings for the twins. But this didn't go unnoticed by the other students, especially Minji. Seeing how popular the twins had become made her even more jealous. She started spreading rumors about them, saying they only cared about attention and used their looks to charm people. One day, Amaka overheard a few girls whispering about her in the restroom. She tried to ignore it, but it hurt her. She wondered if Jae-sun would believe those rumors, but he stayed by her side, assuring her that he didn't care what others thought. For Chidinma, things got even more complicated. Minji had a crush on So-won, and seeing him spend time with Chidinma drove her mad. She confronted Chidinma one day, saying, "You think you're so special, don't you? Just because you're new and pretty, you think everyone will fall for you." Chidinma held her head high and replied, "I don't need anyone to fall for me. I'm here to study, just like you." The confrontation left her feeling frustrated, but she felt grateful for So-won's support. He defended her whenever anyone tried to spread rumors, showing that he truly cared about her. To be continued.